So Elizabeth Warren, who, you know, clearly doesn't give a damn about the things she claims to champion for, writes this today. The coronavirus relief package awaiting a Senate vote should not be delayed, and we must pass it immediately. But we need to do more. The U.S. is heading towards a recession, and Speaker Pelosi has already announced plans for additional emergency response. This is the right approach. We must act quickly to enact a major fiscal stimulus package that wards off economic disaster. This legislation must meet the challenge of the crisis we face by taking the next steps crucial to safeguarding our public health, including truly universal paid leave. And it must learn from the lessons of our response to the 2008 financial crash. During 2008, I watched firsthand as our government offered a no-strings-attached bailout to the same giant banks that had driven our economy over a cliff. Meanwhile, the government did too little for most homeowners facing foreclosure. In the years that followed, the big banks quickly returned to profitability while countless American families struggled to recover. We could do better this time. First, the stimulus must be large enough to match the challenges that families and communities face. In 2008, the stimulus package was too small, too tilted towards ineffective tax cuts, and too unwilling to make the structural changes needed to address serious damage to our economy. Once economists figured this out, Congress refused to pass another stimulus bill. The economic fallout was predictable, a sluggish recovery that left too many working families behind. Based on the latest projections of the likely economic harm of coronavirus, I have called for an immediate $750 billion stimulus, roughly 3.5% of GDP. Next, the federal government should focus on recovery from the grassroots up, not Wall Street down. This means focusing on helping people directly, and in doing so, addressing the gaping holes in our economy that leave families one lost paycheck away from defaulting on their mortgage, car credit, or student loan payments. Direct help begins by closing the gaps in the paid leave policies already approved by the House. Direct help also means increasing Social Security benefit checks by $200 a month. That would send vital financial help to seniors and people with health conditions that make them more susceptible to coronavirus. I can't read any more of this because I can't stomach it. So, it goes without saying to Elizabeth Warren. It just goes without saying. If only there was a grassroots candidate. If only there was a grassroots candidate proposing paid sick leave universally. If only there was a grassroots college candidate proposing a guaranteed jobs program. If only there was a grassroots candidate who has been fighting Wall Street that you claim to be against in that op-ed. If only there was a grassroots candidate who hasn't taken a dime of money from Wall Street, while there's another candidate who is literally doing more Wall Street fundraisers than campaign events. If only Elizabeth Warren had the opportunity to endorse a grassroots candidate that would provide universal paid sick leave, universal pre-K, universal health care, universal education. Damn it. Elizabeth Warren's in a pickle. She just doesn't have somebody that could do that. This Elizabeth Warren is a case study. She is the case study on how Washington sucks in once progressive individuals. There's a lot of corrupt people now that when they went into Washington had vision, had some integrity. They suck you in and they spit you out as a establishment shell. Because all the things that Elizabeth Warren is endorsing that need to happen right now in this economic stimulus, that we need paid sick leave, and we need direct cash to workers, and we need $200 for people on Social Security. I think more than $200. $200 isn't going to get you far. An increase of $200 is not enough. You know who, as president, be a lot easier to get those things done? You know who you would have a partner in the White House with to get those things done? Between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders? And this is why Elizabeth Warren, frankly, if she decides to run again, should be primaried. She's not a progressive. She is a self-serving faux-gressive. She is a self-serving faux-gressive. And Elizabeth Warren, let's be clear, Elizabeth Warren cost Bernie Sanders Massachusetts, cost Bernie Sanders a much bigger victory in California, a much bigger victory in Utah, a much bigger victory in Colorado, probably cost him a victory in Minnesota, might have cost him a victory in Texas. And now she has the gall, after choosing to sit it out and not endorse Bernie because she doesn't have any conviction and she's not actually part of the progressive movement, she has the gall to say, we need all the things that Bernie Sanders is suggesting overall, not just in the case of relief for the coronavirus. It's just disgusting. And she won't be called out for it. Maybe some progressives will, but you know. And I think she's in for a rude awakening because she's not going to get the same crowd that she used to get. She's not going to get the same support that she used to get from progressives because she has made her choice, and that is to not back up the progressive cause, to not fight for the progressive cause. And she's also politically a dummy because in her mind, if she actually thought that by sitting it out, don't endorse Bernie, you will ingratiate yourself to future President Biden and he'll play ball with you. He'll, take your suggestions for who should be in his administration. He might appoint you to something. I got news for you, Elizabeth Warren. Joe Biden is not going to grant you a parking pass in the White House, much less actually take your suggestions. If you actually think he's sincere, that he's going to try to push through your bankruptcy plan as president, I got a bridge to sell you. If Bernie Sanders supporters believe that Joe Biden now coming out and saying, I'm now for Bernie Sanders' free college education plan for people making less than $125,000 a year, which, by the way, is not even Bernie Sanders' plan. Bernie's plan does not have means testing. It's for anyone. If people believe that he's going to follow through on that, good luck. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.